now I'd like to invite Cassie to come up to talk about our recipients. So please give her a warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi everyone, in case you don't know, I do a lot of the recipient videos and I have the fortunate job of dealing directly with the recipients that we give the money that you wonderful people raise and your supporters. And my latest video is of Prue, who at some stage had the greatest moment of her life where she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl and then she got the worst news ever. So, Andy, we ever show that video?
Hi, it's Cass here from Rally for a Cause. Just wanted to say firstly a big thank you to Hein Timber, Rally for a Cause's major sponsor. And also, hi to Prue and Mia. Hi guys!
Hello!
Hello!
Hi!
And as everyone can see, they're wonderful, they're happy, they're healthy. But unfortunately in 2019 that wasn't always the case, was it, Prue?
No.
No. So we might let Mia go watch some TV. You want to go watch some TV, Mia?
Hey,
watch some TV.
Here we go.
And then we're going to hear Prue's story from 2019.
Yes, so I was pregnant with my daughter and I worked all the way through full time. I got to the end and things started feeling a bit odd, but I just thought I was pregnant. And then I had my baby and I wasn't getting any better, and it was meant to be a really beautiful time and the honeymoon period of having a new baby. And then I went to the doctor and I went there a couple of times, and unfortunately I was turned away, and they just thought, oh, you know, new baby blues and everything, but something didn't feel quite right. So then I went for another doctor visit and they just thought, oh, hang on, this is a bit off. We went up, we had a scan, and I was just waiting, and they come out and they delivered the most terrible news that I had a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, so I had a blood cancer. And then that night they ordered in a aeroplane and I had to fly straight to Brisbane Hospital without my little girl, and I had to stay there for about, I think it was about 3 weeks until I got a diagnosis. And then we had to face the difficult idea of, you know, the journey that was ahead. So I had a lot to think about in the hospital bed for a couple of weeks without my newborn, thinking about you know, how we were going to get through it. So things didn't quite go to plan, but yeah.
Yeah. And can you tell us, Rally for a Cause, Dunga Derby, came to your aid. What sort of an impact did that have on you and your family?
Oh my God. And so coming back to lying in bed thinking about things, of course you're thinking about, you know, life in general and what's ahead, but I also started to think, okay, so we had a mortgage, my partner just started his business, so I thought, how in the world are we financially going to get through this? Life is stressful for families in general without some kind of illness lurking in the background, so finances were going to be a really tough struggle. Tried not to worry about it, but in reality it was going to be an issue. And my beautiful friend Robbie Jan nominated me to be a recipient for the Dunga Derby. I hadn't even heard about it, but when she had come to me and explained how they could help, it was, I don't think I have the words, because had I not had that kind of aid, I cannot imagine the immense pressure on our family that we would have felt. So yeah, it saved a lot of distress.
Yeah, that's so good to hear. And how are you guys doing now?
We are doing awesome, really. I'm back at work. I'm in a reception role in a hospital, and I'm also personal training and building myself up physically. And yes, we are.
And also, Mia and Prue, actually.
busy,
Yeah,
as
is it?
you
Yeah.
can see.
Is there something you'd like to say to Rally for a Cause, Dunga Derby, their sponsors and supporters?
I really want you guys to know from the bottom of my heart that I don't know what I would have done without you, and what you're doing just really beautifully helped our family, and we cannot thank you enough. Like, no words.
Thanks very much, Prue, for
Thank you.
sharing your story with us. Thank you.
I need to thank all the sponsors, because without the sponsors and without the participants and the fundraising, we don't have an event. So really important. You've already heard about Hind, and Hind Timber are our major sponsor. They're all about timber. Their head office is in Maryborough. They're a locally based company, and they're a huge supporter of Dunga Derby. So please, if you can support Hind and any of the other sponsors, I encourage you to do so. We've got rally partners. They are Harvey Bay RSL, the Beach House Hotel, which is hosting us tonight at a great venue, the Wide Bay Motor Group, the Springs Estate and Latitude 25, Harvey Bay Diesel Service, Burson's Auto Parts, the Chiller by Harvey Bay Wholesale, LPE, Locality Energy Provider, HSE, Health, Safety and Training, and Max Tracks. So please use any of those sponsors that you can as well, plus the following ones, such as our media partners, Southern Cross-Eyed Stereo, that's Hit FM 101.9, Triple M 103.5 here on the Fraser Coast. What's on Fraser Coast, Win TV and Matt Williams Photography. So they do all the media for us, and without them we wouldn't get the publicity that we get. Merchandising comes courtesy of Bob's Tyre Centres, so here in Maryborough for Bob's, Express Print and Mail in Harvey Bay and on the sunny coast, Morgan Sewing Centre in Harvey Bay, Queensland Stairs and Dynamic Engineering, also a very reputable Harvey Bay company, and again we've got Max Tracks providing some of the merchandise. So can I just ask everyone to put your hands together for the sponsors. And support them wherever possible. Plus, all the companies that you have as your own sponsors, people just support those businesses. Before we get into serious stuff, we have a Dunga's Got Talent night while we're on the Dunga Derby event. So this year it's going to be back, bigger and better than previous years. So this year we're going to have a first, second and third prize, so certainly worth getting involved in the Dunga's Got Talent.
Are you doing the prize, Billy?
Yeah. That's, no, you don't want that. It's, going on what I've seen in past years, it's probably not that hard to get first prize. There's some talent, I just don't know that's good. For that one, we've got some new judges for this year. I can't say who they are, but it's not us, it's not the committee, so it might be biased. So totally unbiased judges are coming along for that event. For more information, get on to Jess or Jody. They're our, what's your... They're the ones doing all the organising of the fundraising and all the fun events and all that sort of stuff. So talk to them. Details on the screen, yes. So there's some details up there and over to my left on that screen. And more information's coming out in the Easter newsletter. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. Right, serious business. I get all the fun jobs. Rules, regs, do's and don'ts. So with this one, it's not there's a lot of rules around running an event like this. One, to make it safe for all of the participants, one to make it a reputable event, and one to make sure that we don't get into any strife with the law or communities that we visit, private properties and that sort of thing. So please, whenever you're doing anything with vehicles because they're certainly emblazoned with a lot of stickers about Dunga Derby, and wearing shirts. Just make sure you do the right thing. I've always said to my kids, if you've got to think whether something's right or wrong, it's probably wrong. So, we'll know it's right. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly duck onto the welcome guide where to find it. So you go to all the W's, dungaderby.com.au, select the Fraser Coast event because there's also the Sunshine Coast. So go to the Fraser Coast event, select information, I said before it's up the top, then about to Dunga Derby, scroll to the bottom and click the welcome guide, and that's what you'll get. There's quite a few pages in it, and you'll also find the Fraser Coast sponsor brochure in there as well. Now I'm going to skip the first couple of pages and go to the code of conduct. So like all organisations these days and a lot of events, they tend to have a code of conduct. Your arm's getting sore. So I'm going to go through the dot points. It's up there on the screen, but it's obviously too small to read. So Dungas must be registered, be roadworthy, have a minimum of third-party property insurance, and drivers must hold a valid driver's licence. That's no good having one that's not valid. That way you won't be driving. And this is probably like reading legislation, so it's going to be a bit dull and boring. If someone wants to come up and tap dance, you're more than welcome to, but we have to do it. Drivers and Dungas must obey all traffic laws and directions from any law enforcement agency. So no matter where we are, if the police direct you to do something and I do it, if they give you a ticket, you probably deserve it. So this is applicable while on the Dunga, on the event, whilst they're in your vehicle, which is signed with Dunga Derby stickers and promotional material, and if you're doing anything as an identifiable Dunga Derby participant. Entrants are to follow the instructions and guidelines set out by Dunga Derby officials at all times. There'll be lots of officials on the event. You'll get to know them. They're all great people, but they do have to protect the brand, they have to protect the participants, and we also need to protect our sponsors. Entrants will not engage in behaviour that endangers the safety of participants and or the general public. So that's just about appropriate behaviour. Entrants will not tamper with any road signs and Dunga Derby signs. There's been years where some signs have been rearranged, so look, the dangerous side of that is that someone that's coming along sees a sign, they'll follow it, they don't a sign. If it's pointing in the wrong direction, we, the committee, the responsible people, have to go and find them. And that could take a long time, so please don't play with the signs. Entrants will not tamper with other entrants' vehicles or possessions. For obvious reasons that we don't want people pulling wires on cars so that they don't work or anything like that. I have, in previous years, seen the results of cars being tampered with, and it wasn't so much a problem for the car, but it was a problem for the person who did the tampering. So, don't do it, and there won't be a problem with that one. Entrants will not engage in offensive behaviour, drunkenness and or behaviour that brings the name of Rally for a Cause and or Dunga Derby into disrepute. So it's just on your good behaviour. Entrants are to respect any access to private property that is given as part of the Dunga Derby, and access to the private property is for the Dunga Derby event only. It's not an ongoing approval for us to go back with our friends at a later date. Critically important, that one, because Tim's not here tonight, is he? The effort that Tim and Andrew go to get the permissions to go onto private property is extreme, to say the least, and very time consuming. And some of the processes they have to go to, I'm amazed that we get onto some properties. So So please, we don't want to ruin it for future years, because we have over the last 6 events gone back once or twice to the same properties. Whether it was because of weather or whether it was last year because of COVID, but there may be a reason, there will be a reason in the future where we need to go back onto some of those properties. So we need to respect the property, respect the owner's wishes for how we use that property, and that'll keep us in a good place for in the future. Entrants will not bring, throw or place any form of confetti, glitter or similar during the Dunga Derby event. You may become liable for a personal property that you injure or damage, so just be aware of that. Haven't heard of anyone get injured by confetti, but so you can get it in your eye. But please, there's none of that. It's messy. Whatever mess we create at night time or anywhere we stop during the day, we have to clean it up. So the less mess, the better. Entrants will not use any handheld noise-making device such as an air horn or other offensively loud device close to any person. What are we going to do with Chris at 4 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, put a muzzle on his mouth. Okay, so failure to abide by the Code of Conduct may result in disciplinary action being taken by the committee, which may include a warning or immediate exclusion from the Dunga Derby, and any disciplinary action taken is at the discretion of the committee and the Dunga Derby officials. So it won't be just one person saying you're out or whatever penalty applies. It'll be the committee that makes the decision, and it will be a decision of that committee. So no one individual will do that. Any entrant who witnesses a breach of the Code of Conduct must report the incident to a Dunga Derby official at their earliest available opportunity. The official will then report to the committee, which will determine the appropriate course of action to be taken. Any entrant who is excluded from the Dunga Derby as a result of a breach of the Code of Conduct may also be excluded from future Rally for a Cause and Dunga Derby events, so it could be ongoing. The Code of Conduct applies to all members of a team, and any transgressions by an individual team member may result in the exclusion of the whole team. Rally for a Cause will not be responsible for any costs incurred as a result of early exclusion from the Dunga Derby, and no refunds will be given for entry costs, sponsorship money raised or donations. At the end of all that, let's have a great time. It's all about fun, and it is for those who have been on one or more before. They know what the fun's all about, and we do have a great time. So please, that's the guidelines, that's what we operate by. So at the end of the day, it's about having plenty of laughs, but it's also about being safe, and it's also about preserving and improving the Dunga Derby and Rally for a Cause name out there in the community. Righto, back to Macca. That's the boring part over. But the important part.
I just wanted to say my 3 things are over for the day. You know when you break something and you're like, something else is going to happen? First of all, it was my Dunga. It was overheating. So there's $500 down. Next one, when I got to AES, the jerry can on the roof had been flogged. And initially, of course, I thought it was Chow or Mick Irwin. Mick, it would match one of your cars, is it? We'll talk. Jerry can went missing, full of fuel. So this could be 4. When I got there, Chow had run the car out of fuel, trying to get it to heat up. And so I said, don't worry, there's 20 litres on the roof. He goes, oh, was there? So that went, and then the recorder that I was recording with tonight, we dropped earlier and it smashed everywhere. So hopefully I'm good for the weekend. I'm hoping we don't be camping in Inskip, and I hope that we don't have the land fall away on us. So, What's the income? Exactly. Please think of us this weekend. All right, Amy, we've got up next. Please give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
My name's Amy. I am the bookkeeper for Rally for a Cause, so I'm the person who sees where all your money comes to. I work with the lovely treasurer of the board, which is Bronwyn over there. Big round of applause for Bronwyn. So fundraising. Obviously fundraising is an extremely important part of what we all do. The more money we can raise, the more people we can help support in our community. So we want you to be really, really excited about fundraising and, raise as much as you can. So, Dunga Derby, as you know, is the major fundraising event for Rally for a Cause. All money raised. I really don't like public speaking if you can't tell. But through the events, all that money is used to support our community. So, how to make a deposit? We have a number of ways to do it. Through the website is our preferred option, so you can use your credit card. Get on there, you'll get a sponsor email to come back at you, a receipt, and it will automatically add that target to your card. There's direct deposit as well. If you do a direct deposit, I need you to fill in a form so I know where the money is to go. So if you do a direct deposit, the most important thing is to at least put the car number as the description so that we know which car it is. If you don't do a Google form, I'll generally look on that car for the captain, send you an email and say, you've got a donation, who's it from? Because it's just an amount that's usually in the thing. You can also do it by cheque. The cheque has to be made out to Rally for a Cause, and that's then banked into it, as well as you'll need to do a remittance form for that as well. Remittance forms, they're on the website. In this welcome guide, when you downloaded off the information on the website, it is in the back, there is one in there. The Google form is also on the donation page. So when you go to the donation page, you'll see the bank account details, donate to your car, and there's a Google remittance form. So you need to fill one of those out as well for everyone. If you do it as a bank cheque, you don't need to do a remittance form, okay? Some notes. Teams. So if you're a team of 3, you have to raise a minimum of $2,000. If you're a team of 4, $2,500. It's got to be deposited by the 16th of July into the account. Donations and fundraising deposits are welcome at any time, but to be eligible for the yearly highest fundraiser, which there is an award, all deposits may have to have been before the 27th of July to be taken into account. So if you have a $10,000 deposit that comes in on the 28th of July, that won't come in. So get as many of your deposits into the account now. Team fundraising challenge will be available to your team profile login on the Dunga Derby website. You can put an amount that you want to raise. So some teams might just say leave it open at 2,000. Some teams might put 10,000. So it's a bit of a competition to see how much money you can all raise together. The website payment portal is to be used for donations and sponsorship payments only. It cannot be used for collecting payments for fundraising activities. So if you're doing a raffle and your tickets are $2 each or 6 for 10, they can't be deposited into the account. You collect that money and deposit it as a lump sum. Okay? What else do you need to know? Lots. So should a donor or a car sponsor require an invoice to make payment, you can email requesting an invoice to me, treasurer@rallyforacause.org.au. Details to include who they are, email address, contact details and all that. I'll then send an email out to them, they'll deposit it and then they can be allocated straight to your car tab. Tax deductibility. So not every donation that's made, donations are a tax deduction as long as the person who's made the donation isn't getting a benefit for it. So if you're getting you're saying to your sponsors, I'm going to put stickers on the car, I'm going to give you a free shirt and all these other things, that's a sponsorship. So they're not a tax deduction. If they give you a $50 and it goes straight into the account, they don't want anything, that is a tax deduction. Okay? So as long as the person's not getting a benefit or is receiving something for it, they can get a tax deductible receipt. Funds donated to Rally for a Cause by individuals or organisations are generally tax deductible, provided they qualify as an unfettered donation. That is, a donor can show they have received no value in return for the donation. Okay. Participants need to be aware that the entry fee and all costs associated with the purchase and or preparation of your vehicle, including maintenance and running costs, are personal participant expenses and cannot be funded through sponsors as donations, as they are not tax deductible. So your registration fee that you pay isn't tax deductible, that's just a form of payment that you make, because you're getting actually something for it. You're going on the event, you're getting fed, you're getting a shirt, all that sort of thing. Financial contributions. There are three ways in which payments can be contributed to Rally for a Cause: donations, sponsorship and fundraising. In summary, donations for which the donor receives no benefit in return are tax deductible, and donors will be issued with receipts. Receipts cannot be issued for team sponsors. Receipts can be issued for event sponsors. So event sponsors are our, all of those major sponsors that we've got on here. But individual ones to your cars are different. Please remember that when you are seeking donations or running a fundraising event, you are representing Rally for a Cause. Please ensure that you uphold the values and image of Rally for a Cause at all times. And the more funds you raise, the more we can donate to the people we are trying to help. That's what I need to talk about. Sponsorship, which I've had a chat to you, is all about. Fundraising activities and events. So when you do any fundraising, you need to email Andrew at admin@dungaderby.com.au to get approval to do the fundraising activity before you start it. And this is important. So he'll send you a letter to say, yep, you're approved, you can go ahead and fundraise. This is to make sure that what he's doing is appropriate. So every fundraising activity or event by your team must be approved by the Dunga Derby committee. That's where Andrew has that vetted thing, so he can send that away. The fundraising activity notification form is available at page 18 of this booklet. So you can fill in a copy and send that to him. The fundraising page on the Dunga Derby website, follow the link to fill out the details and submit the form online. Obviously, if you have any other questions and things regarding any fundraising, you can either ask Andrew in the first instance or come to me, or your wiggle letters. They're very full of lots of information, so they'll be able to help you a great deal as well. Other than that, that's it. I'm out of here.
Welcome everyone, how are we going tonight? We've got rid of all the boring stuff. So a few things we need to do. We've got a couple of processes that we're going to change this year as far as myself and the Grease Monkeys go. We've got a bit more help coming. We've got a couple of guys, hopefully from the Sunshine Coast, Andrew, I believe that's still happening too. So we'll have 2 cars or 1 car with 2 guys from the Sunny Coast. Obviously myself and Sonia, Ross and Beck, Chow and Ed. Also we've been offered some help from Harvey Bay Diesel with Jackson and Denver. I don't know if they're here tonight. Apparently not. So we're going to have 5 cars that will work through the field as we normally do. Because we're going to have a big field this year, we want to try and keep people moving. When you get into camp, when you do your check-in to tick off that you've actually made it there'll be another clipboard with a list that'll have your name, your car number and a mobile number that we can contact you on. Not a mobile that's in the car, flat or at home or somewhere else. We'll get that clipboard as we arrive in different groups, and we'll then get a hold of you and find out what we need to do and try and prioritise the jobs to get you fixed as soon as we can. Obviously, if you've got a taillight out, you're going to be after a transmission, but we'll do what we can to try and have it as quick as possible. We're also going to try and contact some workshops around the place where we go that may or may not be open that afternoon and have contact details for them. So if you have a breakdown, you might get into camp and we might be able to say, okay, give this guy a ring, he might be able to help you with a hoist and try and reduce a bit of the workload. So if we've got 100 cars this year, it's going to be pretty busy. Preparation of vehicle. Bash plates, please, bash plates all the way back to the back of the transmission. We have spent probably half of our time fixing stuff that gets torn off underneath. So very important to put a bash plate through underneath the car. The other thing is a high air intake or something that's going to stop the front of your car filling up with water. Most of your Falcons, Commodores, Roadhog, the air intakes at the front of the bumper, above the headlight. As soon as you get some water over the front of it, goes straight in, engine's gone, as the surveyors boys might be able to tell you, multiple times. And we're also going to have a tarp that we ask you to bring as part of your kit this year. Not just a tarp in a bag you've never had on the car, actually have a look and see if you can work out how it fits to the vehicle so that if you do go through some water, which there's a fair chance you may, that it rolls off the front of the car and not with the intake. We have one boring part, really, that we've decided as a committee to do this year, and it is a check and report on your brake system by a qualified mechanic at a registered business. Now, part of that will not only be a check of the car to make sure it's okay, but also a fluid flush. We had 1/5 of the field last year that had brake issues. Wouldn't stop, didn't stop, couldn't stop. 90% of it was basically due to very poor brake fluid. Brake fluid over time absorbs water, gets to the wheel, boils when it's under load. We've got cars that are heavy. We're overloaded sometimes when you shouldn't be. Going down long hills, those sorts of things, the brakes boil. Last year we had a situation where there was possibly 14 people could have been injured or hurt. Because of that, and that's brought this to the fore that we need to make sure this is done, and that's why we're requesting it gets done by somebody that's qualified, mechanic of your choice, we don't care who it is, but you will need to upload that form before scrutineering, Andrew. Add the self-assessment checklist. If we don't have that, you cannot go past the scrutiny process, you will not go. So, extremely important, and after watching firsthand last year what happened, it is something that we just have to do. Other than that, get your Dunga on the road, drive it, use it, get it out there, get other people driving it, we don't care, use the thing as often as you can, because the problems will then show up before you go. Also, load it up with all the gear you think you're going to need. You'll find half of it you don't, ditch it, and then go again, because the weight's what kills it. Everyone goes, you know, we need this, we need that. Priscilla needs a hairdryer, a hair straightener, makeup, mirror, what else was it still? Extra batteries to run all the above, an inverter. So, yeah, that's why she got a wagon instead of the Gemini. She couldn't fit all the shit in it. So, yeah, weigh it all down, make sure everything's all okay and where you need. If you've got any questions and you haven't, we got any newbies here tonight? No, they're only little. So not many people that haven't been. Few. Find somebody around you that has been before. If you've got questions, ask them. Everyone's happy to help. We'll tell you some garbage. If your car's broken, we'll do our best to fix it. You know, some things we can't do, some things we can, but we'll do what we can to try and keep you on the road. Our job is to keep you moving as a reward for all the fundraising and all the hard work you've done through the year. So, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask anyone later on, or myself, or Ross, or Tao, or Ed, and we'll do what we can to help you out, eh? Thank you very much.
Just want to talk about scrutiny for this year. So we're going to go back to our previous format, so 2019, where we all met at the RSL, talked in the car park, the monkeys looked over our cars and said they were fine when they weren't. So we'll do the self-assessment checklist like we did last year, but at that point, I want you to upload rego papers, insurance papers, driver's licence, and also the brake check as well. So those 4 things. So in the self-assessment checklist, you get a QR code, upload all those documents. What, Reggie? Hey? Passport. Or an ID card? 18 plus, something. So that'll be step one, that's your gate opener. If you don't do it, you can't come to scrutineering. It's really simple. So that'll happen about 6 weeks out from scrutineering. I'll send you a newsletter, you'll get the QR code, upload all your documents, we'll be checking those documents. So if we call you, ring you, email you to say the document's not right, you need to bring it to it because it's really, really important. If you don't get that step right, the reason you can't come is you're not insured to come on the event. So step one, step two will be 18th of July, RSL car park. The monkeys will do their magic, check over your car, make sure everything's okay. Following that, we'll go straight into a safety briefing. And like last year, we'll have a document you'll need to sign to say, I've attended the safety briefing. And a participant waiver declaration. You'll get another QR code, you'll scan it, upload that document. Once again, we'll check it to verify you've done it. Once all that's done, you are then entitled to come onto the event. And until that's done, you're not. So if we ring you and hassle you, it's really important you do it. And it's all around this dirty word called insurance. You can't come if you're not insured. The only way to make you insured is to follow the process. So that's my nasty bit for the night.
Do we need rally extension?
Yes. So as done last year, most insurance companies, if you ring them and say, I'm going on a car rally, they will say, we're not going to insure you. You need to explain to them, we're going on a non-timed, non-race car rally. We're fully insured, we've got all the support crews, all the bits and pieces in place. So be really specific around that non-timed, non-race. But ring an insurance company just to make sure that you're insured and you're protected. Otherwise you may not be. What's that, mate? Some insurance companies don't do it. So yeah, most of them have been pretty good. Shannon's, yeah. Yes. Right, so Easter newsletter's coming out probably the end of next week, and that'll be a self-assessment checklist. So you can't submit the checklist, but it'll give you the checklist items so you can start preparing for when that does come out. So a bit of a head start on it as well. Pretty much the same as last year, a few little tweaks.
Okay, we're going to talk to you about fundraising. Last time we hung out, Red Wiggle was winning. Not winning now.
How's your humble pie?
Damn you, Team Waterloo, what have you done to us? Damn it!
So what colour's that? Because it's not mine.
It's not mine either. Team Waterloo, I feel like it's purple or blue. Purple. Damn it, purple's winning.
Oh, Rach. Rach, go.
Raz is not even here. How does that work? Okay, anyway, so purple's winning, red's still second, yellow's second last. If you belong to one of the other Wiggles, hurry up and fundraise. We're on the countdown now, we're running out of weekends. If you've got an event, you need to hurry up and secure a weekend. If you jump on the website and have a look at the events calendar, there's not many weekends left that don't have events. If you've got a big plan, scheming, something awesome up your sleeve, now's the time to pull it out. If you leave it too late, it's too late. There'll be no weekends left, everyone will be busy. Something else that we need to talk about is, while we're on Dunga, there's going to be a number of team challenges and activities of an afternoon and evening or in wide open spaces. You might be expecting things like roadblocks. We might not see a traditional roadblock this year, but we will definitely see plenty of activities.
Lots of activities.
A roadblock might represent itself as an activity when we roll into camp of an evening. When you get to camp of an evening, you'll see us.
Sorry, yes, you get to see us all the time.
We'll welcome you, we'll say hi. If you're a party goer, please camp on the right. If you're someone who likes to sleep soundly, you're sleeping on the left. Don't mess it up, you'll be very sad tomorrow. We'll also tell you where to find the toilets and bathrooms. We'll tell you what time is dinner and what time the activities are. You can expect things. I just want to give you a hint, actually. It's the year of the Olympics. Something else super fun is, while there will be real police, and Presidente Gilly spoke about the actual police, we will have Dunga Police on 2021. Dunga Police will fine you for everything. You might be fined for losing a jerry can macca. You could be fined for forgetting to turn on or off your amber lights, for forgetting to turn on or off your radio,
turning off your alarm clock,
for having the name
not
Jody.
turning them off.
You can be fined for a whole range of things. The Dunga Police will come for you. The fines probably sit somewhere between $5 and a carton of beer. All the money raised goes back towards. It's up to you. All of the money raised goes towards the total tally for the year.
Maybe you should do that. That's in the order. Okay, so every morning we get up nice and bright and early. So you need to make sure that you are well rested. So that's probably why we're splitting you up from the party goers and the sleepers, because some people actually do value that sleep, so you aren't fatigued. And every morning you will be breath tested. Got it out.
I'm so glad.
So you cannot blow over. So someone in your team has to be sober. So I don't care who it is, but someone needs to be a nominated driver, and they will blow.
This is your fault, Andrew. You didn't tell us what we were saying until we got here, by the way.
And that's not what we're saying, it's just dot points, so we're not even sure if this is
Let's
what we're
talk about
supposed to
wiggle
talk
leaders.
about.
Relatively serious. If you're a wiggle leader in 2021, stand up.
Ray, Brett, and can someone pretend to be Razza?
We got fake Razza. Razza's kid's here. No, Razza's kid's not here.
Mason, where are you? Ah,
Rightio. Well, Razza's not here. She's wearing a purple shirt. She's invisible right now. She's the purple wiggle leader. We've got Ray.
she's the blue wiggle leader. We got Howie over the back. He's apparently part of the dream team. He's green. I am the yellow wiggle leader.
And I am the Reds. Yes, Reds. So it's really important to stay in touch with the wiggle leaders. Tonight's a really great opportunity to meet them face to face if you haven't met them before. You should be texting them, emailing them. You might be talking via a Facebook group. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can be connecting with your wiggle leader. They'll be giving you guidance on how to prepare, the steps you need to take for your fundraising, how to find other people to pair up with to hold your events. And your wiggle leaders will be chasing you about something very important called shirts. Today is Thursday. For the rest of the 7 days till next Thursday, you're going to be hounded about your shirt sizes, probably every day. We're on the countdown now. If you don't have your shirt sizes in for your individual registration by next Thursday, you're either getting a women's 8 or a men's 8XL. Let that be your motivation.
So following on from that, you need to get online and fill out everything. That includes if you are on Dunga with your wife, husband, significant other, you cannot use them as your emergency contact. So if, I'm going to use John. So John and Tracy are on Dunga, they cannot use each other as your emergency you have on check. You need to pick someone else. You need to pick someone that's not on Dunga. You don't know your wife did it for you.
Can I use my kids?
No, 18 plus. Someone responsible, and that's not your children.
Speaking of children, you can also order your kids a shirt.
Okay.
So, Mace, would you stand up and wave, dude?
Mate, stand up on your chair.
If you want your kid to look as rad as Mason does, then you can order your kid a shirt. But you need to do it via pre-order, and you need to do it with your wiggle leader. So, is Razza back yet?
No, still not back.
Roger, find your
Oh,
wiggle
she's
leader.
gone home.
Tell them you want kid shirts for your kidlets.
Okay, if you do still need help with your registration tonight, Amy, who was up here before, and Andrew will help you finish them. So I know I've got a few that aren't quite finished. Hi, Evan.
Okay, we're going to keep talking about merchandise. So we've already talked about the official merchandise, now we're going to talk about chatty tees. So, yeah, that's great. So in 2021, we've got a supplier called Chatty Tees. Chatty Tees is an organisation that exists for distributing and printing merchandise for non-profits. So you've got the option to get a Dunga Derby specific with no team on merchandise. Looks like this, and looks like the carpy one that Jodie's not picking up off the floor. So if you were to purchase that one online, that would be as well as your 2021 polo. $10 from each item you purchase goes back to Rally for a Cause. Or you as a team can be super rad like my team and organise your own. That means that you can order your own, and then everyone who buys a proud supporter of Car 37 hoodie or shirt, hat, tote bag, $10 from each of those that are purchased goes back to my fundraising tally. It doesn't matter what you put on it. So Kermit could just have a bunch of green ones with frogs on, Catastrophe Wives could have a pink line. It can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't necessarily even have to be Dunga. You might all work at a gym or at an energy company and want to print some shirts. Still, $10 from every sale goes back to your team tally. Chatty Tees will bank that at the end of each month, so it will come through as a drip feed towards your total tally. If you want to order the Dunga Derby merch, well, you can order mine, but if you want to order the Dunga Derby merch, it's already available on the Dunga website, so you can jump on and do that right now. You can get onesies for grandies, you can do whatever you like. And that's the end of today's story.